Okay. First question for both of you.
Oh dear. I just know this is going to be awful.
How and where did you meet? Is the first question.
At Winstead's. No,
You
wait a
know,
minute.
I think this interview could break us apart.
It
Answer
was
the
at
question.
Winstead's. The drive-in.
Sydney's. Sydney's on Gillum,
Right. Mm-hmm.
which was not my favorite place, but we went there
To get
after,
something to eat.
yeah. Penny Carson and I, who is now deceased, went there after work. I worked at Woolworths on the plaza, and we went there after I got off my shift at 10 o'clock. No, I think it was 9 o'clock back in those days.
And it was me and my brother.
And it was you and your brother Lee.
Okay, second question. Was it love at first sight?
Of course. See, I beat you to it.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I don't think that's what my mom and dad.
Okay. What did you do on your first date? Where did you take Mimi for your first date? And what did you do?
Yeah, that I don't remember.
I don't remember either. God, I don't know what happened yesterday. You asked me what happened 15
Yeah,
minutes ago?
I think we went to the show.
We did?
Yeah, I think we did, and I think we went to see. Oh no! Wait a minute. No, because
To
this
Serve
was
with
back,
Love?
and this was. Well, it would have been. Yeah, no, that's when we were. We didn't. We just kind of went out, and then we didn't see each other for a while, and then we dated
For
again.
about a year or two.
Yeah. And then, the second time was I was with my aunt, Mimi, Elsa coming home from work from, no, that was the first time. Oh, I think Alzheimer's has
No.
set in. This isn't going to, okay.
What?
No, we saw each other again. We drove by each other.
That's right.
It was on
Off of Linwood
it was
Boulevard.
yeah. And we
See,
pulled over.
those were the days when you could drive in those places. Nowadays, you couldn't without body armor.
Not on Linwood.
Mm-mm.
What did your parents think of each other? Like, what did your parents think of Mimi? And what did your parents
Oh,
think of Papa?
my parents loved Mimi right off the bat. But her mom didn't think very much of me at the beginning because I was just a common laborer.
Oh, John. That's nice.
But she loved me after she got to know me. Yeah. And her dad too.
They both did. They
He
both
was-
liked him a lot.
He was a good guy.
Okay.
We got along well.
My dad would be the very first one to say, mm-mm, and we obeyed. Back in those days, your parents said we didn't date the person, and my grandmother got in on that one too.
How
I
long did
wasn't
you
allowed
date
to date
before?
Serbians. I wasn't. Oh my God.
How long did you date before Papa proposed? Like, how many
It was
years?
a couple of years, wasn't
It was a year. That's the second time. We only went out a few times the first time, and then we didn't go out anymore, and then we started up again, and then that time it was about a year.
it? It was about a year.
How did Papa propose?
That was a good one.
Oh, yeah. We went to the show.
We went to the show, and I had a habit, if my hands were cold, I would stick my hand in his coat pocket, and whatever side I was on. And I stuck my hand in his pocket, but I didn't notice that there was something in his pocket, and the ring was in his pocket. And then, how did you put it? Oh, by the way, do you want to get married? And I thought, wow, this is really cool.
So what do you think? You want to
He's
get married?
So, yeah.
Or what?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, and yeah, that was it. Do you want to get married or what? And I thought, or what? But I mean, really, I thought,
No,
oh my
I didn't
gosh,
say that.
yes, you did. Yeah, you did. And it was, I was so excited. And I didn't choose the or what. I said,
How memorable was your wedding?
it was memorable.
Mm-hmm.
What was the best part?
Getting married. Having all the family there, Monsignor Bauer was real good to us. We became good friends. Your dad Your grandpa got hurt the night before.
Oh, yeah,
the day
broke my
before,
finger.
Broke his, yeah.
Yeah.
And all,
And I had a
all
cast.
into his hand.
I had a cast for, what, 2 months
Yeah.
before I was able to hold my wife in both hands.
And he was declared, what was it you were getting? Because you were permanently disabled in that hand.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yes, you were. That hand was declared
They didn't tell me about it.
Where did you go on your honeymoon?
Colorado.
Springs.
How many places did you live before the Jarbo house?
Just one.
2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We lived in a fourplex.
Fourplex. And the
Oh, it was
people
that
in the
very-
fourplex were all older people. One was a retired Army nurse. One was a retired teacher. And the other 2 downstairs were just retired.
Drunks.
And they all drank. And
The
they,
Beauchamps.
the Beauchamps, and then Lorette Mother's Head, and I don't
Yeah.
remember the retired Army nurse.
Yeah, she lived
But they loved
upstairs.
us.
Yeah.
They just loved us.
What's your favorite memory of each of your children?
Stephanie Lynn was the first one.
Hmm.
She was born a month early, and she had all kinds of problems, and that's how I met Dr. Bordy.
Favorite memory of each of your
Oh,
kids?
of all, favorite memory?
Yeah, through all of the years.
Well, I think the first
my
child
gosh.
is always the most memorable.
Yeah.
And she was premature. She weighed 5 pounds, 3 ounces.
5 pounds, 1 ounce.
And she was so small, I held her in my hand.
She was 17 inches long.
Yeah.
Okay, go down your children.
Who?
What, go
Oh,
down your children.
Michael. Well, my favorite memory?
Yes.
My favorite memory of Michael was the black nurse who took care of him in the hospital. She absolutely fell in love with him, and she couldn't stop kissing his little face. And when the doctor came in to talk to me about him, all I could see was Michael's chin and his nose. He had his mouth sucked in. And I said, "What's the matter with Michael's mouth?" And Dr. Cantor looks at me and says, "What mouth?" I said, "That's the problem."
Yeah.
Mouth.
He
was so
looked like a
cute.
little witch.
And then Elsa comes to the hospital, and back in those days they were in a nursery, so you used to go to the nursery and look at them in there. And Elsa says, "Well, which one is yours?" I said, "There he is, right there. There's Michael." And she says, "Oh." She says, "Well, he's cute in a homely sort of way, but he certainly looks like you, Cheryl." Thank you. And he did. Michael looks to me like me to this day.
What was your favorite memory of Michael, Papa?
Oh, there's tons of them.
Oh, Michael, he was a strange one.
Oh, and there's another one,
He
Stephanie.
had an imaginary friend. What was his name?
George Hanks.
George Hanks.
It was
And
his
he
guardian
worked-
angel
Yeah,
and his imaginary
and he
friend.
worked in
Jerry Hayes Ford
Jerry Hayes Ford.
on Nolan Road.
Yeah, and we always knew when Michael was finished and ready to go to bed, he'd empty his bottle and he'd throw it up against the wall. He also ate wallpaper.
And other
Over his
things that we
crib,
do not want to
There were
discuss.
pieces of wallpaper missing.
Okay, the other
That was Michael.
next child.
Yeah.
And then with Stephanie Lynn, when Michael used to fall asleep in his plate, which he
Yeah.
did, we thought he had narcolepsy or whatever it was, and he'd fall out of his chair, and your mother would just go
Yeah.
look on the floor while Michael hit the floor with
No.
a thud.
No movement.
Yeah,
He could be
bang.
dead.
Okay, next child.
Okay, Johnny. Johnny used to fight Susie for it. No, it wasn't Susie. Yeah, it was Susie. He used to fight Susie for her food. And Susie would growl at him and he'd slap her. She never dared bite him. Or anything because I'd kill her. But anyway, they'd fight.
Okay, Papa.
And then Johnny would
Yeah.
also hide behind the tree in the very back of the yard.
And do his business.
And there'd be a
The
little
sprinkling
stream. Yeah,
system.
he'd be peeking like this while this little stream came out, and then the people in the back
Yeah, he was hanging from us.
on the patio
But he
would be
didn't
looking at
realize
him
the
because they'd have a
neighbors were
clear.
looking at him.
Yeah, they had a clear shot of him.
Is that your favorite memory, Papa?
Well, there was, of course, many more.
Yeah.
But I remember one time we were so proud of him because he ate his peas. And then we found out they were under the plate.
The girls found it out because when they were cleaning up, they lifted up the plate and there were the peas.
Yeah.
Okay, next job. Keep going down.
Mary.
Mary.
Oh, Mary.
Mm.
We get a lot. Oh, my favorite thing.
Number
though,
one
about- yeah,
favorite. Yeah.
my favorite thing about Mary. she kept me on my toes. Mary kept me on my toes. She was she was quite.
She was always in trouble. In one way or the other. But she was also the first one that I was able to come into the delivery room.
Yeah.
And I saw all these things attached to her. God, it scared the heck out of me.
What stuff attached to her?
Well, they were monitoring her.
Well, my favorite memory of Mary. Mary was the one of them that dropped. Johnny used to drop toys on Michael's head, and Mary, when the kids would pick on her, the boys would pick on her. If they lean up against that playpen, because we were still out in Independence, Mary would pick up the busy box and wait until the two of them were together, and she wasn't very old, and she'd let go and get them both. So it was as if it was a hereditary tendency.
That was another thing that Michael did. He used to pick on Johnny, and what did he do? Drop things on him from outside of the playpen?
No, that was Johnny. We
Oh,
dropped
that
it
was
on
Johnny.
Michael.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Mary
Right.
grew up seeing them use these things as weapons, and
Was
so she'd let them
that
have
both of your favorite memory of Johnny?
Well, it
Or
could be
Mary?
favorite. They could have got hurt. Could have dropped a bomb on the playpen. or
Oh,
something.
there is one of Mary. When we moved to the new house, to the house over on Jarbo,
Oh, yeah.
it was, the house we had in Independence was less than 1,000 square feet. It was little. So we had Catherine in the bassinet next to my side of the bed, between the bed and the dresser, and there was no room for anything else, not even dust. And Mary was across the room, which wasn't very far either. It was a very small room. And she was in the crib, so we had to take the door off to get into the room because we had the crib there. And when we moved over to the Jarbo house, it was big. And we didn't have it all filled with furniture either. We had to buy furniture for it because you go from less than 1,000 square feet to 3,000 square feet. You got some filling to do. And we only had 3 bedrooms out there in Independence. So Mary was kind of toddler depressed for a while. She'd go and look for a place to hide and sleep. And it would always be behind the dining room door. There was a wall there in those days, and there was a door that went out into that dining room, which is now the sitting room. So it was all different. And then she had, when the spring came and Mary could go outside, we had a big wheel. And Mary would get on the big wheel with her thumb in her mouth.
It was called an Explorer.
Whatever. No, that was the little car that Michael drove down the stairs and almost killed himself on. This was the big wheel.
No, the big wheel, Michael went down.
This was Mary.
Okay. Can I leave now?
No. The one I'm talking about now is Mary. Michael and Johnny took that and hit the fence and went this way on it.
I know about
Mary would stand up at the top. She was 2. Finger in her mouth, up at the top of the driveway, let go without changing a look on her face, her thumb still in her mouth. She'd come down 1,000 miles per hour.
With the Explorer.
With the, it wasn't the Explorer.
You gotta leave that on there.
And
We'll ask Mary.
Mary will remember. Mary will remember.
Okay.
Anyway, she'd scare the ever-loving daylights out of us. And it would be, Mary, don't do that. But Mary did it every time. And thumb never came out of her mouth. And somehow she stopped this darn thing. I don't know how.
Okay, next job.
Next one, Catherine. Oh, yes. Oh, Catherine.
She always had a smile
Catherine
on
was
her face.
born, yes, and everybody called her Smiley.
Especially Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, Tom Sawyer adored Catherine. Anyway, so here comes Catherine, and when we moved into the house, Catherine had been born in December 4th, 1976. Mary was born in May of 1975. So Catherine was just a little one. We moved into that house in April. So Catherine really didn't make her debut into the neighborhood until the following year. And Catherine came out going swimming and also out into the driveway and into the back part of the backyard and out in the circle. And what we heard from Catherine was screaming. And it was, I want, and mad because the kids were doing this or that. And all you'd hear from me was, give her what she wants. Whatever it is, give it to her. I hear this. And Gay Peters used to sit down and talk to us about the summer that Catherine came out into the driveway, into play outside. You always heard Catherine.
Papa, what's your favorite memory?
Well, for Catherine was pretty funny. She'd come into the living room when we had the TV where the dining room table is, and she'd have a big smile on her face, and we'd say, go pee, because we knew exactly what the problem was.
She was half asleep.
Yeah. That was your mom.
Okay, next child.
And Johnny, that's another thing. Johnny used to kiss the TV goodnight when we were
Yeah,
telling.
that's right.
Yeah.
And we had to
He'd
stop
bend
him.
over and he'd kiss the TV and pat it on and then go off into his room. And I was thinking, oh my God.
And we had to stop him a couple of times from going to the bathroom in one of the closets.
He almost did that to Aunt Elsa, and she had probably $1,500 worth of shoes on the floor in her closet, was having a heart attack. Okay, Catherine, we got her.
Christina.
Oh, Christina had little bitty tiny ears. And when she was born, Dr. Bordy couldn't stop kissing her face. He absolutely adored her. He thought all
she
these
was
kids
a
were
cutie
so
pie.
pretty. She was so little.
Off the bat.
But I was in a wreck when Christina was born. Me and Mary Kay Lenahan and Julie. Julie was born before Christina a few months. And a lawyer's wife came to the scene of the accident, and they took me to the hospital because I was pregnant. And I was in premature labor, and the doctor told me to go home and drink a glass of wine 3 times a day. Well, in those days, I didn't drink at all. So I was anticipating I was going to be awfully happy when I went into labor because that wine made me feel awful good. But the reason was that alcohol has a direct effect on the uterine muscle, and it stops contractions, which it did. And I didn't drink it 3 times a day because you don't have time to drink it in the morning.
Okay, favorite memory.
Or I didn't in those days. I could now, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't. But anyway, So, where was I?
You forgot.
Favorite memory of Christina.
Oh, yeah. So, Christina was born a little bit early herself. And when she was so little, so cute, and just these little bitty tiny ears.
And she was always the most photogenic.
Yeah.
All her pictures, she's just beautiful. Not that the other kids weren't, but yeah.
And she was awful cute. She really was. Little Miss Cutie Pie.
Yeah, what's
My
your
favorite
favorite
moment.
memory of her?
My favorite memory of her was that she was real affectionate. Very affectionate. And always wanted to be with her mommy. A little more than some of the others did.
Yeah, she was always very artistic too.
Yeah, she was.
She had these little dolls and little dresses and stuff that she would.
The Cabbage Patch dolls. Christina was big with Cabbage Patch dolls. She loved those Cabbage Patch dolls. And the other thing, this isn't a favorite moment, but poor Christina did not have a bed. And then Christopher didn't have a place at the kitchen
it was in
table.
the room.
We had to get chairs from the other room so Christopher had some place to sit when he came out of this out of his high chair. Oh, it was terrible to be hard pressed for finances back in the day when you're raising a big family.
Okay, what's your favorite memory of Christopher? Each of you.
Oh,
Well, the one thing that sticks in my mind is that one day he says to me, "Dad, I learned how to spell VCR."
oh, and what was it? Who did Michael? Oh, the old man mask.
Oh man.
They tormented
Yes,
Christina
they
with the
lived
old
the
Michael.
crap out of Christopher.
Yes, I know.
Oh man.
Oh, did I say Christina? I thought he scared her too with it. But it was Christopher that was the
It was Christopher that
And
really-
one day, they had a dragon, a pink dragon. And it was in a box in the boys' room. And I hear this blood-curdling scream. And I meet Christopher, he's a little bitty guy, and he comes running out of this room, scared to death. There was a snake in there, something was, and it was this dragon with its head stuck out of the box. It scared the hell out of me.
Came to life. in the
Yes, yeah, he was scared.
Okay. What have you learned is the most important thing about marriage?
Everything is important about marriage.
What's the most important?
Your faith.
Your faith, and someone had said to me after we got married, some years after we got married, had reminded me that when we got married, that we needed to concentrate and understand that we had the sacramental graces to depend on. And I didn't think a whole lot of it. Because for the first, when the kids were coming and I was pregnant every 18 months or what, I was having babies every 18 months, then, you're busy and you don't think about it. But after a while, then all of a sudden we prayed every night. We said the rosary together every night. And we did that right from the beginning. But there was a period of time where we had to really concentrate on those sacramental graces and helping us to get through some bad times, some hard times.
Yep.
Okay, now here's the final and most important question. You have to think carefully before you answer this question. So, yeah, this is the most important. Who is your favorite grandchild?
We're not going to answer that one. There's too many people we could get in trouble.
You know what? No, here's the deal. Because
We love them.
my
We love
children
them all.
think I have a favorite child, and I don't. I love all of my children, and you love all of your children the same but different. Because everyone has a different personality. God loves us different. He doesn't love us exactly the same. So each one is loved differently, and I think that's one of the gifts that you give to your children about God, because that's what we're supposed to be. When we take on raising children, we teach children who God is, because we love our children even more, but like God loves us. There's nothing you're going to not do for your children except help them commit sin. You're not going to do any of that. But they have to learn some things the hard way, and you got to stand back and watch it happen. Help them, direct them, but it breaks your heart. I love all of my grandchildren, every solitary one of them.
Each one in a special way. They all have a gift.
But Veronica,
Special.
of course, you want to hear.